Hello everybody and welcome back to episode 5 of Real Talk with Mickey D. I really hope you guys have been enjoying the series so far, but let's jump right into it. Episode number 5 is about how to influence, how you can bring people through a pathway so they listen, they come back, they interact, and you have some form of influence. Okay, now this is something I've really blown up in the last kind of month or so. I've been growing my influence as much as possible, and yeah, it's something I'm quite familiar with. What I'm going to do is I'm going to break this down in a very personal setting, how anyone can get this started, and the exact strategy that I've kind of used over the last 3 to 6 months to ensure that I am also a person of influence. Now, one place where I got this originally and where I've kind of formed my own formula, also kind of mixed with my personal experiences, is actually from this book, Key Person of Influence. I absolutely recommend it. If you want to become a person of influence, the Key Person of Influence is a fantastic book. Alright, so jumping right into it, my 3 steps to becoming a person of influence. Now, number 1 is self-awareness. I know I say this a lot. You know, you need to understand what area you have self-awareness in. You need to understand what area you want to influence and what really matters to you. Now, in business terms, we call this thing an elevator pitch, where essentially you give someone a spiel for 30 seconds about what your business does. You want to pretty much build an elevator pitch for yourself. What do you want to do? What do you want to influence? Now, something for me, let me give you an example. I want to preach positivity. I want to preach pushing limits. I want to preach entrepreneurship in business and marketing. So those are kind of my areas that I push. And that comes from a place of self-awareness, that I understand that I'm good at those and I also enjoy those. So number 1, self-awareness, all right? Number 2, credibility. You need to build some kind of credibility within the space. You understand where you want to influence. Now you need to build credibility. Now within this book, what they tell you to do is they tell you to publish a book. Now for a lot of people, that is not a very viable solution, and it's also starting to become a little bit outdated. Everybody has a book these days. There's different ways to do it. Now, how I look at this is that you need to publish content. You need people out there to actually see you as this credibility factor out there. And if people are consuming content of you talking about stuff and actually showing that you understand the areas that you want to influence, you start to build this internal credibility within that person, just by being omnipresent, just by educating, just by, all of that combined allows you to become a person of influence. Now, number 3 ties into what I was just talking about, consistency. You need to be omnipresent, all right? You need to be consistent. To become a person of influence, you can't do that overnight. Lots of people see people as being an overnight success, and it doesn't happen like that because everyone's going through a constant process of learning, applying, learning, applying, learning, applying, and that happens over and over again until someone just pops into being this person of credibility and someone of influence. Now, I can already say on my journey so far, I've kind of been working in this space for areas that I want to influence for 5-6 years. And that's been something that I've had to drive, learn, apply, learn, apply, learn, apply, so that I can be here. So number 3 is consistency. You need to be consistent. You need to be always learning, always applying, and then you also need to always rapidly be shifting steps 1 and 2 to ensure that you can be this person of influence. What I mean by that is you need to, keep refining your pitch. At first, I was like, dude, I just love entrepreneurship. But then it became more deep than that. I've really come to a place where I understand people. I understand how people consume content. And it starts to get a lot deeper than just this big, broad topic of entrepreneurship. I can niche down and be a lot more specific. And by constantly refining that, it allows me to actually become a more credible person because I'm a specialist in a certain area. Does that make sense? Now, number 2, you need to refine what you're publishing, okay? Obviously, you need to be consistent, but you need to consistently review what you're publishing to ensure that it shows off the areas that you're refining in step 1. If you make a shift and go, rather than talking about macro business and understanding, or we can apply this to a different thing. Let's apply it to, you want to be an influencer within the health space rather than doing health as a whole. You know how big that is? There's fitness, there's diet, there's, there's so many things that go into having good health. There's medical sides to that, etc. Rather than doing macro health, you can go, look, I want to target nutrition for athletes. That starts to become more specific. You can even go more specific than that. You can go, vegetarian diet, nutrition for athletes. You can go as specific as you want, but you need to refine that to understand where you go. Now, the content, how you refine that with your self-awareness is going to change the content that you're actually publishing. So as you refine number 1, you got to also refine number 2, and number 3 doesn't change. You need to be consistently posting. I'm not sure you guys realize I'm posting every single day now on my YouTube channel. Alright, so that is my 3 steps for becoming a person of influence and how to influence people. I hope that has been absolutely helpful for you, and I really look forward to jumping in for episode number 6. Now, if you guys are new here, can you just do one thing for me quickly? Just let me know in the comments you're new. I'd love to jump in, get to meet you, and make sure you smash that subscribe button. So all the support is really appreciated. I absolutely love it, and I really look forward to the next episode. See ya.